Hi, this is Matthew here to do the next Chicago album review on Chicago VII, which came out in 1974. It's a double album again. Apparently it's their last one that they've made up to this point. So yeah, last time they'll do that. Basically had wanted started doing jazz type things in their shows to mix results, but they thought, hey, let's go ahead and make a proper jazz album, which I always thought that they should make back in high school. I didn't know they actually had made one. Kind of. I think most of the first half of the album is jazz, and then it goes to the more popular oriented things. People were Cetera and Peter Cetera, and I think the producer weren't quite sure if it would work commercially. It did. Another #1 album for the band, 3 singles on there. So yeah, it did pretty well. I really like it. But I like jazz. It's just fun to hear all them playing. Some people doing vocals that hadn't before. Some people writing songs that hadn't written songs before. So a lot of things going on. And I was wrong about the conga guy. He doesn't become a full member until Chicago 8. So he's still a session guy. He's still a session guy, but you hear his style on here a lot, which is kind of cool. There are some Latin infused songs on this thing, which is awesome. Yeah, very good album. Don't know how it did in the UK, but #1 here in the US. For sure, so nothing wrong with that. It's a double album, of course, as I said, so we'll go see what it's got on it. We start with Prelude to Air, which is an instrumental. Danny Seraphine wrote it, the drummer. And then we go to another instrumental called Air, that Walter Seraphine, James Pankow, and Walter Perazeta wrote that one. And then another instrumental entitled Devil's Suite, which is really cool. Seraphine and Perazeta wrote it. And then we go to side 2, where we continue our instrumentals with Italian from New York. Robert Lamb wrote that one, and that's another instrumental. Then I think we jump to our vocal songs after that. A little more hanky-panky. Robert Lamb wrote that one, and that's the other instrumental. Then we jump to vocal stuff. Lifesaver, written by Robert Lamb, and with Robert Lamb who sings it. And then Happy Man, which is Peter Cetera, which he does on his album later, and that he does the album, does it again. Tony Orlando and Don also cover this, if you've heard their version. I have not. It's a good song, though. Peter Cetera sings it. And now to side 3. The second record is where all the hits are. We jump to I've Been Searching So Long. I love that song. James Pankow wrote it with Peter Cetera. I love that song. It's great. Then Mononucleosis, which I guess was a club, apparently. James Pankow wrote it. It's Peter Cetera and Robert Lamb at the beginning. It's an instrumental. Very salsa influenced. I love it. And then you jump to Song of the Evergreens, written by Terry Kath. And Lila Main sings this one, the trumpet guy. And then Bylos, B-Y-L-O-S. I'm not sure. Terry Kath wrote that one, and he sings it. I forget what that's supposed to be, but the second side 4 goes to Michigan We're Here, which has 3 Beach Boys on it. Written by Peter Cetera, vocals by Kath Cetera, of course. I don't know where the backing. Hopefully, we'll get our Beach Boys listed in our personnel. don't remember if it said on the Beach Boys stuff I reviewed. I can't remember who they were right now, but we'll go find them. And then Call on Me, we did the other hit next to it. Leela Main wrote that one. And Peter Cetera sings that one. Very, very, very Latin influenced, which is great. And then Women Don't Want to Love Me, Robert Lamb and Peter Cetera wrote that one. Robert Lamb wrote it, Peter Cetera sang it. And then our last extra track is Skinny Boy, written by Robert Lamb. Robert Lamb sings it, and the Pointer Sisters, yes, are on backing vocals, which they sound really good. And we had one addition to our 2002 remastering of the discs onto CD. One extra track was included, a rehearsal of the track, the Bilos rehearsal. So that was they added to that particular album. Our personnel are going to be Peter Cetera, bass, lead vocals, and backing vocals, and guitar. Terry Kath, guitars, lead vocals, backing vocals, and bass, and bells. So much cool jazz stuff on this. It sounds so good. Does anybody know if there's did they do any of this stuff live? Because I would love to hear those tracks live somewhere. Robert Lamb, Mellotron on the first part of the first track. Mellotron, keyboards, Fender Rhodes, and ARP synthesizer. There's some wonderful synthesizer stuff on this thing. There really is. There's some nice synthesizer stuff. And the clavinet also, and backing vocals, and acoustic piano, and mini moog, and lead vocals. Yeah. Busy guy. Danny Seraphine was on drums, percussion, and hi-hat, and bass drum. That sounds about right. Leela Main, trumpet and flugelhorn, and backing vocals, and lead vocals. James Pankow, trombone, percussion and backing vocals, and the timbales. Yeah, there are some timbales going on. Alto Peritator, tenor saxophone, flute, and soprano saxophone, alto saxophone. That sounds right. Yeah, it's a nice. He does a nice jazz flute too. If I do say so myself, it sounds really good. A brass arrangements by James Pankow and Robert Lamb, and James Pankow as well. Additional guys, we've got David Lewinsky on the ARP synthesizer and acoustic piano and Mellotron and Fender Rhodes. Winternesky acoustic piano, of course. James Garcia acoustic guitar, bass and guitar. So our producer plays as well. Ross Sullivan on drums. Lauderdale Oliveira was on. That's the guy that becomes a full member next album, doing percussion and congas, and then it's it. He's so good. Definitely his style definitely asserts itself more here. I noticed it. Definitely noticed it here. I did not notice it on 6, but I noticed it for sure on this thing. Yeah. So it's pretty good. And Bill Garcia on percussion and congas as well. So yeah, so many nice stuff on here. Jimmy Haskell on strings. Okay. That's he's doing. Yeah, and like I researched it so long, and I feel there's one of there's one other track I think that has some strings also. Oh, our party background noises are people. Bobby Brown, Camille Ortiz, Dan Nini, and Hank Steiger, and Julie Nini. Yeah, there's some. Yeah, that's in mononucleosis. Here we go. Our Beach Boys we had available were Al Jardine, Carl Wilson, and Dennis Wilson. Okay, that sounds right. I think that sounds familiar to me. But that's who's on Wishing You Were Here. Al Jardine, Dennis Wilson, and Carl Wilson. Yeah, pretty cool stuff because they were recording there anyway. Go see my Beach Boys reviews for that. They did use this studio once or twice, I believe. Our Pioneer Sisters with the backing vocals, as I said. I don't know who all was in that group entirely. I like their stuff though. And production guys, James William Garcia again produced it. Engineered by Wayne Ternesky and Dave Garcia. Yeah, he plays too. Okay, I think. Didn't he play? Hang on. Did I see his name? Yes, acoustic piano. Okay, I thought I had seen his name. Strings recorded by Armin Steiner at Sound Labs in Hollywood, California. So they had to go off to Hollywood to do their strings, and then I guess didn't bring the tapes back to. I know they recorded in Colorado, but I guess maybe they all went to LA or New York to get mixed and things. Strings were definitely in LA. So mixed by Phil Ramone. Cover photo. John Berg and Nick Fraschetto again. Photography of Cusick, I believe. And that is it. Yeah, it's a really good, really nice album. I highly recommend it. Especially if you like any kind of jazz or fusion stuff. Like, there's loads and loads of it. It sounds so good. And all the pop stuff is also good. Yeah, definitely people were stretching themselves a bit, which is good. Writing and singing and stuff they weren't doing before. So, yeah, I think a very good, solid album for them at this point. Peter Cetera trying to change it up a little bit, which we'll keep doing, but they were such good musicians, it didn't matter. Yeah, amazing stuff. But that will do it for now. Then we'll jump to Chicago 8 and 75. Where there are two hits. The album after will be a hits compilation, but those songs aren't on it. Very weird. I'm not sure why. We'll get into all that later. That's actually my first greatest hits album. It's the album after 8. Yeah, I've not heard that in a long time. I will pull it out technically when I stream it. So, because my stuff is buried in boxes, and I don't feel like trying to find the actual disc. So I'll cheat and use the streaming option. But we're not there yet. But we'll do 8 first in 75, and Otto de Oliveira will become a full member of Chicago, which is great because he's awesome. I like his drumming. His congas are great and stuff. His percussion. Nice to have a Latin feel in things. So nice. But that will do it for now. I will see you guys in the next video about these reviews.